Hey folks, Mike here with Chasing Trail. Finally got a break in the weather. Beautiful day today, nice and sunny, mid-50s. And this is my first ride since doing all my modifications, testing my new build. I just rode 1 mile and got gas, so this is my very first impressions. Thus far, exhaust, now it sounds like a real motorcycle. You can definitely hear it, but it's not obnoxiously loud like my 450L was. That one had the FMF Power Core 4. Rear shock immediately feels much better. I don't notice too much on the front yet. Handlebars feel good. Levers feel good. Still in the break-in, so I'm going to be taking it easy. Don't notice any tremendous power difference yet, but I really haven't gunned it. Today's Saturday. Today and tomorrow are both supposed to be nice days. I'm going to try to get as many miles on as I can. I'd really like to get my first oil change done and get through the break-in period so I can start letting this thing rip. Let's try standing. Standing feels pretty good. Yeah, bars are just about right. Accelerating in 6th gear, no problem. I'm barely turning the throttle, so that feels good. That suspension's way better. It's much less tuna boat feeling. My front brake's still feeling fairly weak. I'm hoping that that improves. Head out and do my first little bit of dirt on Muletown Road. Hopefully I don't drop it. Very pleased initial impressions. Definitely curious to see how this thing feels out in the dirt. Got a decent little hill coming up here. We'll see how it does in 6th, if I have to downshift or not. So I'm on the hill now. Probably can't tell the camera. It's not a huge hill, but it's definitely a hill. 6th gear, 50 miles an hour. I am in a downshift, but only because traffic's going so slow. Felt like I was doing fine. Check engine light went off after the 3rd cycle, just as 550 Performance said it would. It's a really easy bike to ride. Much more pleasant on the streets than the 450L was, which shouldn't be a surprise. I hate where the horn is relative to the turn signal on here. It seems like they're reversed. One thing I'm noticing, it's a little hard to get my foot underneath the shift lever. I'm trying my new boots. They're fairly thick, and these foot pegs are so grippy. It's actually a little tricky to get my foot under. Not a huge deal, but they're very grippy. Get up to a cruising speed here. Still on the stock gearing. 65 miles an hour. I'm at about 6,500 RPM. I feel a tiny bit of vibration through the foot pegs, but that is it. Alright, I'm back. I just pulled on the Muletown Road. Bikes felt great coming out here on the pavement. Much nicer to ride on the road than my 450 was, which is exactly what I wanted in making the switch. Very pleased with that so far. Power is good. So one thing I was thinking about as I rode out here is that I really liked the WR250R in every aspect except for the power. The bike was just underpowered for me. This bike has just enough more power that I can be happy with it. It's definitely not my 450L, no surprises there, but it's enough. For me, it has, you know, exactly what I was hoping for, and it's just enough, a little bit more power than the 250R was, that I can be happy with this. The 250R was enough for me off-road, so this should be more than adequate off-road. It was just the on-road performance of that 250R left me wanting. So, very pleased that this has just that little bit of extra oomph that I needed to be happy with it on the street. Really pretty today. Beautiful sunny day. We got lots of snow on the mountains, which is awesome. We've desperately needed that. We've been in a really bad drought here in California. I can't wait to get through the break-in period because I really want to just rip on this little bike. So even after upgrading the rear shock feels great. Upgraded the front fork spring to a K-Tech spring for my weight. Part number is FATASS. It's still much more plush than the 450 was. I don't know why I keep comparing to the 450 because I doubt many people shop both bikes, but it's the last bike I owned, and I switched to this because I was unhappy with the 450 for some of the type of riding I wanted to do. So for me, it just makes sense to compare them. The 450 suspension was awesome, particularly off-road. What I struggled with was finding a balance where it felt good both on and off-road. If I got it feeling good on-road, it didn't feel good off, and vice versa. So I'm really hopeful that this feels good off-road as well. It's more plush for sure. On the road, it feels really nice. It no longer has that tuna boat feel, but it does still feel pretty springy, I guess. Soft for sure. It just doesn't have that harsh hit where I'm getting jarred around and banged around by every little bump on the road. You know, on the 450L, I definitely noticed every little thing in the road, and this one I'm just cruising along, and it's very comfortable. I have a feeling that the faster I go off-road, the more I will miss the 450. That 450, the faster and harder you rode it, the better the bike felt. And it was begging me to probably ride beyond my abilities. I consider myself on the street, intermediate for sure. I feel more comfortable on the street. Off-road, I want to say intermediate, but I'm probably still more on the novice side of things. I've been riding off-road a long time, but well, in terms of I started riding dirt bikes when I was 5, but I have not spent a lot of time doing it, and I'm only kind of getting back into it, especially on motorcycles here the last year or two. So just to provide context to any feedback I'm providing here in my perspective, I guess to be honest, I'm a novice off-road rider hoping to progress into intermediate. I believe that I am capable, I just need more experience. I doubt I will ever be an advanced or hardcore rider. Not a goal of mine, and not really in my temperament. Hey doggy, what you doing, buddy? Oh, he looks lame. 2 doggies. Hi guys. Yeah. Hi buddy. He didn't look like he wanted a pet. I always feel kind of bad coming through here on the 450 because it was so loud. This one's definitely a little quieter. Happy about that. This exhaust is just loud enough without being obnoxious. So I did a little brake test when I came out here too. The brakes work, but I really had to squeeze them pretty hard. I'm not used to having to apply so much force to get the stopping power I want, but that was my experience. Alright, we are officially in the dirt. Oh, it is muddy. It's going to be slick out here for sure. Oh boy. Oh boy. And I forgot to disable the ABS. Oh. This is slick. Shit. Okay. Let's get up here a little ways and turn the ABS off. I'm not exactly sure what has to be done here. I think you just hold this down. There we go. No ABS to the rear. Great. That was easy. I knew it was going to be wet out here. Definitely is. Gonna take it real easy and ride like a pussy today. Sorry if that's disappointing to anybody, but first time on the bike out here on stock tires, very wet. My only goal for today is to not dump it, not try and do impress anybody. So far it feels great. Plenty of power for me off-road, and I can't wait to let this little thing rip. I just want to grab a handful. I'm just sitting on my ass cruising over all the stuff. It's soaking it right up. On the 450 I felt like I needed to stand a lot of the time, which you probably should be for a lot of off-road, but I'm lazy. Man, it feels awesome. It feels really good. I have zero faith in these tires from what I've read about them, and just feeling it kind of dance around underneath me. I'm like I said, I'm going to ride like a pussy today. Got plenty of get up and go for me. Even here we're in third gear. Grab some throttle. Oh yeah, it's soaking all these bumps up. Man, this thing feels great. It feels better off-road than it did on. Really pleasantly surprised with how this feels off-road so far. Oh, big water. Big water. Not going to go bombing through that. I'm sure it'd be entertaining to see me eat shit into that big puddle, but it's not something I care to experience. Beautiful little spot here. Hopefully you can see the snow-capped mountains. Got a little creek out here. Don't know if you can hear any of that. So first little issue I've noticed in getting rid of the rear fender with my tail tidy, it is definitely throwing up some mud. So if you ride in the mud, be aware of that. You can see it's also ripped right through my shitty paper license plate, so hopefully that doesn't create a problem. I have my paperwork with me if it does in the toolbox, so what can I do? It's a good looking vehicle, if I say so myself. I also took off those Kemimoto heated gloves. Are great. I didn't even have to turn them on. They're just so thick. They were keeping my hands warmer than I needed, so I switched back to my less warm gloves. And you can see here my sweatshirt fit in. I expanded the tail bag. Everything fit in there perfect. I got some water bottles and some granola bars and shit. Yeah, everything fits in there. My Garmin. I'd like to get something for the Garmin to actually attach to my person, but alright, let's get on with it. Yeah, so far, first impressions is I'm really happy with this bike. It's doing exactly what I needed to do. It feels great. It feels better off-road than it did on-road even. For my type of riding and the pace I go and the type of terrain I like to travel on, this feels awesome. Like I said, the 450, the bike felt better the harder you rode it, and it sort of made me feel compelled to have to rip on it. Would that have made me a better rider? Maybe. Was it increasing the chance of trying to ride beyond my ability and eating shit? Most certainly. You know, I want to push myself a bit and learn and improve, and I'm hoping that this is a better bike for me to do that on. And again, I just the common theme I see in the dual sport adventure bike community is trying to find, you know, the unicorn bike. We all want the one bike that's good at everything, and I keep doing this, falling in the same trap too. I thought that 450L could potentially be that bike for me, but I think you really need, well, you don't need, you're better off getting multiple bikes to suit each purpose. My R1250R is my ultimate street bike. I absolutely love that bike to death on the street. I can't imagine anything I'd prefer to have. I've been debating that bike just because of how damn expensive it is, but I got a good deal on it, and at 0.9% financing, I'm probably just going to ride it out. You know, for roads like this, while also being comfortable on the street, the 450L was overkill. It was really better off for more technical terrain or faster paced riding. And although it felt really good out here, I did not enjoy it on the street. It could do it, and I know some people aren't bothered by it at all. That's awesome. I was. And so for taking some of the longer rides and exploring and gravel roads and fire roads, and I think just after this short time today, this is going to be the exact bike I was hoping for it to be and wanted it to be. I'm really, really pleased so far. Enough power to get me where I want to go, light enough to, I'm pretty confident I can pick it up wherever I might drop it. Really good gas mileage. For the type of terrain I plan to take it on, which is basically this, and at the pace at which I ride, which is slow, I think it's going to be awesome. Oh, I just noticed that the ABS is back on, so I remembered that, but forgot to turn it on. I wish you could just keep that on. It is easy enough, but kind of annoying. Let's turn it back on, or off rather. There we go. Oh shit, I forgot to disable ABS again. We gotta fix that. It seems you can only do this when you're at a stop, because I tried on the road to enable it earlier and it would not work. Going to continue to ride like a pussy. A Banshee! 2 Banshees! Trail blogger will be excited to see that. I just sent him a picture of me out here to piss him off. Whoa, that is greasy. Oh boy. That's more water than usual. But I think we can do it. Gotta do it. Made it. Yes. Okay. Good. Overall, I gotta just say I'm incredibly pleased with this bike, how everything's performing, my build. I don't think there's anything I would change or have done differently. Once again, it's exactly what I expected and was hoping for, and not disappointing in any way. Nothing exceeds my expectations. Power's better, but it's not, you know, going to blow you away, but it's an improvement. And just all around, that continues to be the theme for me for this bike. Meets but not exceeds, and I'm okay with that. Says I'm averaging 65 miles a gallon. That's great. Oh shit. Once again, goddamn. At some point I will remember to turn off the ABS, but I definitely keep forgetting to do that. Okay. I forget until I try to stop and then realize the braking power I was expecting is not there. Suspension is plush but not bottoming, which for me is perfect, not harsh at all. Just soaking the stuff up. Been able to sit on my fat ass most of the day. Standing here and there. Feels great. See how this feels to the whoops. Feels good. Feels great. No problems. No problems. Yeah, I'm pumped. This is a great do-it-all bike for exactly the type of riding I like to do. Oh, motherfucker. I did it again. I forgot to disable the fucking ABS. How many times am I going to make this mistake? There we go. Man. Just going to send it. We did it. We did it. Nice. That was sketch. That is the most water I've ever seen in that little creek. Oh, that's bad. Oh, shit. Oh, we got a fucking pond. Okay. Alright. Okay. This bike's so much easier to control at slow speed than the 450 was. Very easy to modulate this throttle relative to that 450. When you're trying to crawl like that, the 450 was on off in a way that was obnoxious, and it had the vortex and a G2 throttle tamer. These things might have helped, but it was always noticeable. This one, I've heard people say this one is sort of the same way, but if so, it's much less pronounced. I've not found it to be an issue whatsoever. Probably don't have much battery left. I don't think it's going to make it all the way back, so gonna sign off here. Thanks for joining me for this ride, my first real review of the bike with the full mods installed. I'm super happy with everything. Nothing I would change. I think everything I picked out it's perfect for me. Super stoked with my mods. Love it. Love this bike. Exactly what I wanted it to be. Zero regret. If you're thinking about one and you do the kind of like riding like you see me do here today, it is perfect for this. So get your hands on one. It is a much better bike for me than the 450L was. 450L is an awesome bike if you're an awesome rider. But for me and what I like to do, how I like to ride, I'm much happier with this. Maybe I'll keep this one longer than 6 months, which none of my friends believe. Given my track record, they have good reason for those beliefs. Super stoked with this bike. Love it. Love it.